I'm really tempted to say to Elon, stop doing interviews, man. You are looking ridiculous. You're playing the victim. You're crying when very few people have sympathy for you. And I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's put him up to it. Like, yeah, yeah, do interviews, do interviews. You convince the people to like you because the more he talks, the more people dislike him. So let's get into the Fox interview where he calls Tim Walz a creep. It's quite funny.
Forms could be shut down.
Finally, what's the biggest thing for you that keeps you up at night?
You're thinking, do I talk about me? Do I talk about the world? What angle? What angle is he going to go for?
Well, there's a lot of things, I suppose, that I worry about, but and some of these things will seem esoteric to people. The birth rate is very low in almost every country, and it's something, unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America.
I mean, a lot of people are talking about that. I mean, mainly Nazis. They're obsessed with birth rates, especially in white countries, especially in America, the UK. And yeah, let's let them continue.
America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity.
We're not really trying, though. There's a certain point in, industrialized, wealthy nations where it kind of plateaus. Also, there's that contradiction of industrialized nations and inequality. So a lot of young people, especially in America, the UK, can't afford to have children with skyrocketing housing prices, renting prices, cost of living, education, and then stagnating, if not for a lot of people, decreasing wages. You could have a kid 40 years ago on the income of one person, the father. Now, 2 people have to work at least. You've got childcare costs. You've got just the lifestyles people have now is very different to 40 years ago. But does he want to tackle that inequality? Like we've tried stuff. It's not worked. We've not really tried. And I think he does see it in some kind of conspiratorial way, like, we tried, but, people are just coming into the country and, there's not much we can do unless we stop immigration, maybe.
Humanity is dying. And people, it's just not something we evolved to react to. And I worry generally about the strength of America. America is the central.
We're not really evolved to react to. Maybe that's true.
Column that holds up all of Western civilization. So if you've got the temple of Western civilization, America is the central column. If that column fails, it's all over.
Well, it's not really. Civilizations fail all the time. America, the most powerful economy on the planet right now, is going to fall. And it's probably not good for the world for that to happen. But you and Trump are kind of undermining America and turning a lot of countries against America. So if it does happen, you're kind of creating that multipolar world where Europe are kind of arming up. You've got China, you've got Russia, and you've got America. And now it's we're at a point where you've caused this situation, you and Trump. And it's ironic that he talks about, what if America falls? We're doomed. Yeah. Thanks, Trump.
You can't run off to New Zealand or some other place. It's over. So either we strengthen that column and make sure America
Such fascistic language, like, oh, if America falls, it's over. It's over. And then it's obsession with birth rates. And he cries in a minute and goes, oh, no one likes me. Why does no one like me? It's a mystery to me.
is strong and will be strong for a long time, or that roof's coming down.
I think we got into detail today about what you all are doing, and maybe
It's like, I just thought you're gonna just be like, oh, really want Doge to go well. Anyway,
we demystified some of that. For the people who look at you and your business sense about SpaceX or Starlink, can you tell them specifically there's not a conflict of interest in how you're doing it, what you're doing, and the contracts that you're getting with the government?
Everything I do is under extreme scrutiny.
Every day.
Yeah. So there's not an action I can take that doesn't get scrutiny 6 ways to Sunday. Every action.
yeah, but the idea that, oh, I'm being scrutinized, so I'm not doing. Well, he is. Like, but they're just getting away with it. Donald Trump's doing a lot of illegal stuff. Tariffs are illegal. Like, the idea that, oh, I can't be doing. There's a massive conflict of interest here, obviously. He's a guy who's been funded, SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. He gets massive government subsidies. There's a conflict of interest. Like, by just saying it, oh no, it's not a conflict of interest. I'm being scrutinized. And I'm a good guy anyway, so I'd never do anything bad. It's other companies that are bad, and it's causing fraud. I'm the good guy. They're the bad guys.
Action that the Doge team does is public. We put it on the website. It's the most amount of transparency there's been about any government thing ever.
There you go. He's been hanging around with Donald Trump too much. Like, it's the most transparent department ever. We're the most transparent. Obviously not. They've been massaging the numbers. Again, fascist lies. Like, you have to exaggerate. Like, we're the best in the world. We're the greatest. It's the most transparent. No conflict of interest. I would not be doing it. I'm a good guy. I'm here to save. I'm here to save America. It's not about my businesses. That wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for government subsidies. I'm just trying to save Americans, and they don't appreciate it.
So it would be even if I wanted to, I couldn't get away with it. In fact, it's actually disadvantageous for me to be in the government, not advantageous.
Yeah.
If I wasn't in the government, I could lobby, and I could push for things that are advantageous to my.
Because he's not pushing for anything that's advantageous for him. He's just not.
To my companies, and probably get it, probably receive them. My companies are suffering because I'm in the government. You just pointed that out a moment ago.
Right.
Do you think it helps sales if dealerships are being firebombed? Of course not.
But why are they being firebombed? I don't agree with it. I don't think that's how we should protest Elon. But why are they? Is it because you're a horrible person? You're not a good dad? I mean, racism allegations, sexual assault, cutting potential social security, playing the victim, being a Nazi, maybe. Maybe that's the reason why people generally don't like Nazis. It's a mystery to me.
And Tesla customers are being intimidated all over the country and all over Europe.
Because of you.
Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Waltz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with the Tesla stock price where the stock price had gone in half, and he was overjoyed.
Go Nazi, go broke. Yeah, why not? Like, freedom of speech, boy. Why can't he mock you and your company for what you represent? The people you signal boost, supporting Tommy Robinson. He is a Nazi. Let's not get caught up in the weeds here and be like, oh, it's so sad that just people attacking him when he's just innocent. Like, he's not done anything. No, he is a Nazi. He is, sharing Nazi adjacent, if not Nazi, posts on Twitter, and that's his ideology. That's the reason why. If he doesn't like it, stop being a Nazi. That's my advice to Elon Musk. Just try not to be a Nazi.
What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk. Like, who derives joy from that? And
Quite a lot of people, Elon. Quite a lot of people. People don't like Nazis. It's something over the last 100 years at least that people just generally don't like. White supremacists. It's just, they've been, there's kind of been a blight on the world in the last 100 years or so. And they didn't go away in 45. They still exist. Here's one here. Oh, look at that little face.
it was pointed out to him that actually, Minnesota State Pension Fund is a major investor in Tesla. But he didn't care. He was so overjoyed by Tesla stock going in half. Does that sound like a good person to you? I don't think so.
You're the good guy. Okay, he's the good guy. He's the victim. The victim here, he's the good guy. He's just a nice Nazi. He's one of the good ones.
When I was growing up, we didn't have internet, then we didn't have cell phones, then we got them, then we got the Apple phone and all the technology that I've just seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The fact that we are where we are, if you're talking to an audience, where are we in 5 years? Where are we in 10 years?
Don't ask him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I do think there's the potential for a great future, as long as America remains the land of freedom and opportunity. So freedom means that the government does not infringe upon your personal liberties, that you can do what you want as long as it doesn't harm another person. Land of opportunity means that you succeed on the basis of your merits, on how.
A guy who was given a $28,000 loan from his rich father, his emerald mining father, to start a business, which in the 90s, with inflation, that's probably at least double, if not more. So let's say 60,000. Do most people have that to start a business today? Most people would love that. I mean, so many people do well. They do really interesting stuff. But they don't get that opportunity because 60% of billionaires, like Elon Musk, were born into wealth. But there's not a meritocracy because the people at the top, Donald Trump, given 400 million. Like, American dream is dead, as Donald Trump famously said. Don't act like people have the same opportunities as you do, Elon. And I'm sorry, he's not intelligent. Why is he asking? He doesn't know what's going to... I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years, but certainly Elon Musk does not.
Hard you work and how good you are at your job. Those fundamental principles.
Says a guy who spends just 12 hours a day on Twitter. What does he even do?
What will ensure a great future. And that's what President Trump is committed to doing. It's what the Doge team is committed to doing. And if we succeed, I think we'll have a wonderful future.
Well, Elon, we really appreciate the time.
Oh, he's hilarious. Keep doing interviews, Elon. Keep playing the victim. Keep acting like you're not the problem in the equation, that your ideology is something that people despise. They don't want you just cutting their social security or Medicaid or making their lives worse. Because he benefits from that. He's doing it for him. He's acting like he's the victim, like he's the good guy. He's trying to save money. No, he's just trying to scrape off the top, do well for himself, and everyone else doesn't really matter because he's the hardworking guy. He came over and he made something of himself. So hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.